You know, when you look at racing in the United States right now, and I know you guys don't do much of it, as you spend so much time in Girona racing on the European circuit, but you do make it back for the Amgen Tour of California, for the Tour de Georgia, and you are racing Tour of Missouri.
Right.
So how do these races compare to what you see over in Europe? Like, did you do Portugal?
I didn't,
Okay.
thankfully.
Yeah, it sounded hard.
Yeah, it sounded like the race of a lifetime, man.
Yeah, and that's a 2.1, and most of the races that you're doing over here are 2.1s. How does a 2.1 in America compare crowd-wise and just the big picture of it?
Well, you know, just today I was out on a training ride. I was riding with Andy Badgadali from Jelly Belly, and we were talking about the same thing, just what the races in America are like versus in Europe. And I really think the top end, like in the States, it's just as hard to win a race as it is in Europe.
Okay.
The difference is when the hammer drops, maybe there's only 20 guys left in a race in the States, but there's 120 guys left in Europe. So I think that's the big difference. The crowds and the fans that come out to the race
the pool is deeper as far as quality of riders goes over there.
Right. I had a really good experience this summer in the Volta Catalunya, which was our team's first Pro Tour race. And it was just an amazing feeling because you're in that field with 200 guys and 200 guys that do not suck. They're not going to get dropped. And just you can just feel the power in that field when you're like cruising at 50k an hour in a crosswind or down a descent or whatever. It's like you're hanging onto the side of a freight train.
Wow.
I mean, it's way different than any other race I've done.
That just sounds cool.
Yeah, it's pretty intense for sure. It's definitely a step up.
So only in Boulder, Colorado, did you happen to notice the gentleman that just walked in the door here?
I did.
Fairly decent cyclist.
Davis Finney just walks in. He's probably buying some chain lube or something.
So what did you think of young Taylor Finney's ride down in Mexico?
That was truly impressive. I was surprised by that, but I'm really proud of him. I know he's done the work. He's obviously got the genes, and he loves cycling.
Speaking of genes, I would think that you would be a better salesman than a cyclist. I don't think, it's funny, we were both over in the Tour of Ireland together, and I had to have seen the name. No, do they say it Duggan or Dugan over there?
I don't know. I didn't research that over there. I'm pretty sure 2 G's is Duggan, 1 G is Dugan. But there's lots of Duggans over there. I took a bunch of pictures, actually.
Did you? I was
Duggan Real Estate, there's a Duggan grocery store, there's
they had
all sorts of stuff. Duggan lawnmower repair. I don't know.
It's interesting though, because when you look at in the sport in Europe and even Ireland, I'd include in this group, is see you later, Davis, or hopefully we can get Davis to hang around. But when you look at European cycling, and Taylor Finney would be another great example of this, is generally it's like the NBA here in the United States, and that this is a way to a better life. This is a vehicle to a better life, a larger income than you'd make, working at the factory.
Right.
And you don't come from that background.
I think cycling in Europe is definitely more blue collar.
Isn't it funny? You look at all your friends too, like going back to the 5280 days or the TIA Kreft days or even now. There's not one kid on this team that's really pulling himself up by his bootstraps right now.
There's not too many, and that's the big difference between Europe and America. The kids who get into cycling in America maybe come from wealthier families, and I mean it's not cheap to afford an expensive bike and the travel and everything, but in Europe, the kids a lot of them have the choice to work in a factory or work on the farm or whatever, and bike racing is, it's a different opportunity for them than it is for us.
And it's so interesting to me then, because, obviously you've been given all the opportunities that any kid in America could ask for along the way, yet you choose to go to this sport where, let's face it, there's a lot of suffering, there's a lot of pain that you guys go through. I mean, there's no question. Why are you choosing to do it? The glory?
Is
it just innate in you? Like you're a competitor and you just need to be, this is how you live?
The drive to compete, and like for me, it's just seeing what I can do. And, regardless of what place I end up against my competitors, just knowing that I could push my body to the limit, and over 10 or 15 years of a cycling career to really reach, just blow through any limits that you thought you might have. I mean, really, you have no limits.
You have no limits.
Anyone has no limits.
Yeah, you really believe that, huh?
I believe that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I
Why
hope,
should you limit yourself?
right, and I hope you can continue. I mean, Tim, that's one of the things that we really love about you as a racer is the compassion you have for others around you. And I think that, going forward, this is going to be a very interesting year. I mean, once again, you're going to have a lot of friends that are going to need some help along the way here.
Right.
And I know that you're the kind of guy that wants to do that kind of thing. So hopefully hope some sponsors will come along. I was talking with Richard Bryan from Speedplay the other day. And there are some things going on behind the scenes that maybe will help out some young riders. But let's say that you weren't picked up by Slipstream Chipotle for next year. Worst case scenario, you keep racing your bike no matter what?
I would, for sure.
And you think the rest of the guys are gonna?
I think so.
Good.
I think so. I think at this point, I mean, when you're 24, 25, I'm definitely seeing a lot of guys my age, and they're struggling with, do I want to keep going? It's hard, and it really sucks right now. I'm not making that much money, but I'm just on the edge. I don't know if I can do it. But, I mean, I really believe that just at the time when you think you want to give up, that's when everybody else wants to give up. If you can just hang on for a couple more minutes, a couple more days, one more year, whatever, I think the tables are going to turn 180 degrees, and you just have to believe that.
Wow. I must say, it's really great talking with you, Timmy. I mean, it's really hard because even going back a couple years ago, like when we talk about you when you're not around and people project great things for you, you don't really want to tell you that because you don't want to add extra pressure to what you're doing. But now that you're starting to get these results and, you're going to start hearing your name getting thrown around a lot more. And I certainly hope that people can remember where you came from and just the class act that you are because you're great for our sport right now, Tim.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we'll see you at the Tour of Missouri.
Yep.
Objective a stage win, get a teammate a stage win.
Well, we got Brad Huff. He's from Missouri.
He's got to win a stage.
So if we could win him a sprint stage near his hometown, that'd be really cool.
Which day should I watch for then?
I don't know. To tell you the truth, I haven't looked at the
your life
profile.
is so crazy.
I try not to think too much about it.
In general, do you like to preview what you're going to be racing, or do you just let it come day by day?
Not too much. This year, I've really been thinking about going by feel and not overthinking it. Like the time trial the other day, I never rode the course in full. I didn't have any time checks or radio or follow car, and I'm kind of finding that works for me because you're in the moment in the race and you just trust your instincts. You don't limit yourself based on what you thought or what somebody told you earlier about the race, because in the race, anything can happen, anything can change.
Interesting. I think a lot of sports psychologists would tell you to be in the moment.
That's right.
It sounds like you were.
I actually work with a sports psychologist, and that's probably the theme of what I've been working on with him the last year.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever heard the term natural state, but staying in that like a childlike state where you believe you can do anything you can.
Right.
And you have been.
I think when you're a little kid, nobody tells you what you can or can't do, and as you get older, people start telling you what you can or can't do. And I was really thinking about that a lot lately. It's like, how is my mindset different now than when I was 4, even when I was 18 and just started bike racing? Like if I knew what I know now about bike racing, I don't think Ian and I would ever have gone on the path that we did to get where we are, because it was hard and it was risky. And it was tough, but
you really
nobody told us we couldn't do it, so we did it.
And look where you are now.
So.
And I'm going to tell you though, I'm going to have to say, Timmy, there's nothing you can't do on a bike. There's nothing you can't do in this world. So we're going to have a lot of fun watching. Thanks for taking us for the ride.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it.
For Timmy Duggan, I'm Dave Toll, and we'll see you down the road.